Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. My name is Ashley Bluer, and I will be performing the part of Dan Hochstein.
And I'm Lorena Ramirez-Lopez, playing Morgan Morrell.
Avkid, Audio Video Known Issues Data Project. So the main goal of this project is to gather a big old corpus of data about common failure points in AV preservation equipment. There have been many successful projects focusing on continuing education and skills preservation, but we are focused specifically on the document of known issues. We had to decide what the scope of a known issue was. And I'd say the working definition is something like problems that shouldn't officially happen, but do, and often enough to be notable. These are things that represent original manufacturer's lack of foresight, part scarcity, firmware problems, and equipment issues that don't show up in manuals or official documentation. While forums and email digests and things like that people often turn to are helpful in research, they are, in relative terms, fragile and inaccessible. So the goal of this project is to harvest this knowledge from folks who might have gained familiarity with a lot of these issues over the years and document it in a way that is user-centered, stewarded, and protected in a stable repository that will make sense to anybody making decisions when it comes to performing AV preservation tasks and maintenance. So why would we do this? I would hope that it doesn't require a whole lot of justification. With the calls we often hear about having limited time and resources to perform a lot of information on the AV material we work with, this work will get done more quickly and create a better and more sound results if these issues are effectively documented instead of discussed at conferences and in the nooks and crannies of the internet. We've created this resource with a few folks in mind: new media preservation professionals, community archivists in smaller operations for which a single accessible resource might be especially helpful, and the community at large. So, Morgan is going to talk a little about how our wonderful working group has come up with a nice solution for creating access to this information and where it will all go.
And where will this data go? We wanted to make sure that the data is both easily accessible and editable, and also that the project didn't easily get lost to the winds of times. So we decided to have it piggyback onto the AV Artifact Atlas. For those of you who are unfamiliar with AVAA, it's an open source guide used to define and identify common technical issues and anomalies that can afflict audio and video signals. The AVAA project was originally created from a partnership between BAVAC, NYU, and the Stanford Media Preservation Lab, and is maintained on GitHub by volunteers in the field. What you see here is a mockup. This is an example of an AV artifact called level clamping, which has info, tags, and a description. What AVKit proposes to add is a list of affected equipment, which is seen in the dotted box. If the user clicks on one of these listed equipment items, it'll take them to a page for that item. This page includes a description, as well as a list of known issues with the description of each issue. Right now, the description comes down to 1. A general description. 2. A description of how the issue manifests and how it can be detected. And 3. A discussion of how it can be fixed, mitigated, or avoided. Here is our proposed workflow for the data. It starts with this nebulous idea of someone having identified an issue on their end. Either they have the known issue identified in their head, or it's some personal or institutional repository. We're asking that people fill out a Google Form survey to describe the known issue and what gears this issues affect. We have our structures figured out. And now, what we really need is for people to be filling out the survey. If you're interested in helping this project, the easiest way to do so is by filling out the survey or sending the survey to someone you know who may have the knowledge on this topic. If you're interested in joining the working group, send us an email. Thanks!